Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, CFL Week 3. Week 2, 7-2 overall, 2-1 on straight-up picks, 2-1 against the spread, 3-0 on the over-under. Good week. Unlike week 1 where I was 2-7. So that brings me to 500 on the year overall, which I can live with. We go back to 500, we can build from there. Overall for the year to date, 2-4 in the straight up picks, 2-4 against the spread, and 5-1 on the over under. There's a lot of points being scored this year so far. Only one of the 6 games so far, only one winner has scored less than 30 points. That was Edmonton in week 1. Only one losing team has scored less than 25 points, and that was Ottawa. They only scored 21. So a lot of points being scored, which obviously I've been picking a lot of the overs. That's why I'm 3-0, 5-1 on the over/under on the year. All right, so the first game we have is on tonight. We have the 0-1 BC Lions, who lost 31-27 in their first game, versus the 1-1 Hamilton Tiger Cats, who on the season they have scored 64 points. They've given up 57, so that's 32 average, and giving up 28.5 average per game. Offensively, BC had 418 yards of offense in their first game. They were third among the teams that only played one game so far. Hamilton has 794 yards of offense, puts them third among the teams that have played 2 games so far, which only 3 teams that have. Quarterback play for the Lions, Nathan Rook, 24 for 37, 330 yards, no touchdowns. Bolivia Mitchell for Hamilton, 53 for 63, 1 interception, 594 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The last meeting, which was August 7th of 2025, BC actually won 41-38. But Hamilton in this game is favored by 1.5 with an over-under of 58.5. So I am picking Hamilton to win. They're minus 1.5. I'm taking over on the 58.5. I got a lot of overs on this one. I think for some reason these line makers are doing a lot of. They're keeping the over/under. I think all these games are between 51 and 58, but most of these teams have been scoring over that on the year. I know the defense will catch up here shortly, and there's going to be a week where I'm going to go over on all of them almost, and then just be like completely out of the ballpark. But we're gonna hold tight on this and see if we can catch a few more wins here. So I got over on the 58.5. All right, battle of the 0-1 teams. The Toronto Argonauts taking on the Ottawa Redblacks. Toronto lost their one game 37-30, while the Redblacks lost 29-21. 506 yards for Toronto. They're first among the teams with only one game played. Ottawa is 297 yards. They are 6th among the teams with only one game played. Chad Kelly, great stats to a point, but the completion percentage is not great. 20-46, I think it's 60%. 1 interception, 445 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Not bad, but that completion percentage, that's got to come up. Jake Mayer, 22 for 37, 203 yards, and 1 touchdown. The last meeting between these two, Ottawa won 46-42. That was August of last year. This week, Toronto is favored by 1.5 with an over/under of 55.5. I love how the over/under is 55.5, but yet the last time both these teams played, they scored 88 points. And then if you look at the first game for Toronto, they scored 67. Our overall points was 67. What Ottawa overall was 60? No, it was 50. So it's like, So I am taking Toronto to win, minus the 1.5. I'm going over on the 55.5. I think this is going to be one of those games where I think Chad Kelly is going to put some yards up, but his completion percentage needs to get just a little bit better. And I think Toronto goes ahead and wins that one. Next up, we have the 2-0 Montreal Alouettes taking on the 1-0 Edmonton Elks. 67 points scored so far for Montreal. They are number 1 in the league with that. Giving up 57 points a game. So they, on the average, are scoring 35.5, giving up 28.5. While Edmonton, they did win their one and only game, 29-21. Offensively, Montreal, 891 yards, number one among the teams with 2 games played. Edmonton, 379 yards in that game. They were 5th among the teams with 1 game. Davis Alexander, 56 for 80, 777 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Great numbers so far. Cody Fajardo, 23 for 34, 266 yards and 1 touchdown. The last meeting, Edmonton won 23-22, and that was August of last year. This year we have Montreal is favored by 3.5. I got them winning, covering. I am taking over on the 52.5. That's a low number. I don't understand it. With the points that Montreal is putting on the board, even the 50 points that Edmonton put out there, it's like, I don't see it being under that. So Montreal minus 3.5 and over on the 52.5. And then the final game, we have the 1-0 Saskatchewan Rough Riders taking on the 0-1 Calgary Stampeders. Saskatchewan won 31-27, while Calgary lost 30-28. Offensively, 489 yards in that game for Saskatchewan, second among teams with one game played. Calgary, 389 yards, 4th among teams with 1 game played. Trevor Harris had some, I thought, great numbers. 30 for 36, 417 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If he can pull another game out like that against Calgary, hands down, Saskatchewan wins this. Vernon Adams, 17 for 27, 239 yards, 1 touchdown. The last meeting, Calgary won 37-15. That was August of last year. Saskatchewan is favored by 1.5. That's funny. All the teams that are favored this week lost their last meeting against this team. Very interesting. With Saskatchewan favored by 1.5, with the play of Trevor Harris in that first game, I got Saskatchewan winning, minus 1.5 of covering, 51.5. Oh, goodness gracious. That number's so low, but both teams did 58 last game they played. You know, I'm going over. I was going to go under. I'm going to go over on that one, changing it right here. Over. All right. So the over-under, I have every single team going over. Hamilton winning, minus 1.5, over on the 58.5. Toronto winning, minus 1.5, over on the 55.5. Montreal winning, minus 3.5, over on the 52.5. And then Saskatchewan winning, minus 1.5, and over on the 51.5. All right, that is the CFL week number 3. So yeah, we got a long way to go this year, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to play some good football. We're going to play some bad football. We're going to enjoy it the best we can. As always, thanks for watching Arbor Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a 50-day Arbor Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports show content.